Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. I know the rabbit's a little bit late this evening by about 10 minutes or so. Usually come on at 11, but it's a Friday night. You know how it goes sometimes. Better late than never. Start a little bit later, but as long as we start, everything will be just fine. Wait for people to come on in, figure out how to paste the link in the pinned message at the top of the chat box. So give me a second to do that. In the meantime, talk amongst yourselves as you enter. I will put the link shortly. Just need to log in through the tablet as well. And then I will do that for you all to call in. See if there's any regulars tonight, or if there's any new people that are going to be calling in. You never know what you're going to get on YouTube or anywhere on social media. All right, so I'm going to log in through the tablet, type in the address to call in. Give me one moment while I do that. It will take but a moment. Stand by, stand by, stand by. Just done charging the tablet, so that's why it's going to take me a moment. Bryce there, welcome, man. Let me put it on the screen for now, Bry, if you want to call in, and I'm going to put it in the chat box as well. If you want to type it in the meantime, or if you want to give me a couple minutes to put it on the pinned message, whichever is easier for you, man. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Bry. Again, it's a little bit later than usual, about 10 minutes, but doesn't matter. It's a Friday night. You know what I'm saying. It's all good. Let me type it in here. StreamYard.com. Streamers. God. Oh, sorry, one sec, people. One sec. What has everybody heard this evening? Any updates? I have some, but that was from a few hours ago. StreamYard.com. Again, it goes to streamers. What? Streamers. StreamYard.com /. YGTE 3H 568H. Oh, you beat me to it, Brian. All right, let me pin yours. Thanks for that, by the way. Let's go and pin it. All right, there we go, guys. Everybody that wants to call in through the link at the top of the chat box. It's on the screen now. Good evening, Brennan. How are you? Welcome back. I think you were here yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Welcome back to the Trending Rabbit party for a Friday night. Like I said, we never know what we're going to get in here. Let's see what tonight brings. Whoever wants to call in, feel free. Pin message at the top of the chat box. Yeah, you were here yesterday. Perfect. I'm good. How about you? I'm doing great, man. Friday night, can't complain. Whereabouts are you at, Brennan? Are you Canadian or American? I asked one guy the other night, I said, where are you calling from? Because he called in. I think his name was Frank. And he's like, well, that's a personal question. I mean, it's not like I was asking for a social insurance number or whatever you guys call it, but I was asking, what state are you calling from, bro? Not like, what's your address? What's your postal code? I'll head right over. But maybe I should be a little more clear. Should be like, what state are you calling from, sir? But Brennan, if you're a Canadian, what province are you in? There is also another channel that I just created today called Interrogation Nation. And basically what it is it's just um, interrogations from different cases, be it famous, not so famous. But every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, there's a premiere of a interrogation. So if you guys are interested in that or are interested in interrogation videos, check out the channel I created exclusively only for interrogation videos. It's called Interrogation Nation. Brennan says, American. I live in Indiana. Right, LOL. That's not bad. LOL. At least you didn't ask my social number exactly. See, I wouldn't go that far. I'll have to check it out. And I don't know, have you ever covered the Delphi case? Just wondering. I can, because I mean that was a lot of information on that. But I might do it on this channel because again, I'm trying to make the other channel just solely for interrogations. But if there are any kind of interrogation videos on the Delphi case, I could definitely put them there. So yeah, when you have time, if you can, check out Interrogation Nation. It should be the same logo or the picture for my username, the picture of the rabbit. That way you'll know which one it is. And yeah, if you can subscribe to that. Today I just put up the Jodi Arias interrogation, and I think that was close to 8 hours long. So that one's on there. And then tomorrow I think it's Robert Alvarez. Sunday I'm covering Rocky Rambo. Yes, that's his name that his parents gave him. He's a Chinese guy. Um, that one, that happened in Vancouver. And that one is another lengthy one. That one's over 8 hours long. That one's very interesting. You should also check that one out. That's premiering Sunday at 1 p.m. And then I'm also going to have Alex Manassian, who was the guy that ran over people here in Toronto on Yonge Street. An incel he was. But I got that one as well coming up. And Jennifer Pan, which is another very interesting case, which is another over 9 hour interrogation video. And I think that's happening on Tuesday. So enough bragging about that channel. Go check out Interrogation Nation. Make sure you subscribe to it. And if you ever want any requests, let me know, and I will try to find those videos for you and put them up there. I don't know if there is. I know they have video of the suspect and have audio of his voice, but never caught anyone. It said 2 girls died. Oh, wow, that sounds interesting. I could, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could do those kind of videos here on this main channel. Kind of separate the interrogations from everything else. So everything else I'll cover here, and the other one it will just be strictly interrogations. Yeah, he ran over, I believe it was killed 9 people. But yeah, another messed up idiot. And yeah, next month I'll also be doing Nicholas Cruz and a few others. I think there's Casey Anthony coming up. There's a lot. There's so many. So, and Brent Christensen, the one that killed the girl in Chicago, the student that he picked her up asking her if she needed a ride because she was going to a job interview, and he ended up yeah, doing things he shouldn't have. So all that's on Interrogation Nation. Yeah, Brennan, a lot of them are weird, sad. I mean, there's never a happy ending when it comes to this kind of stuff, unfortunately. No, Brennan, it shows that there's about 7 or 8 people on right now. but maybe they're just getting settled in. That's why I'm giving it a few minutes before we actually start talking about what happened today. Any new information that we have. Brennan, if you want to call in, feel free. I mean, click on the link on the pinned comment. If you want to call in and voice your opinion about what you think is going on with Brian, as well as the whole Gabby case. See, they're coming in. Hello, Miss Melissa. Welcome back. It's either Fuza or Fuzza Majamula. Welcome once again. You were here yesterday as well. I remember that name. I think you've been here the last 2 nights. Miss Melissa, you've been here for 3 or 4 nights. It's awesome. It's awesome. Welcome back, everybody. So again, if anybody wants to call in, click on the link in the pinned message at the top of the chat box. I would love to have you guys call in and chat with me, as opposed to just, me replying to your messages. It just makes it a lot easier. And I want to hear your opinions, comments, whatever it may be. I'm open to all of your opinions. Whether we agree or disagree, we always keep it friendly anyway. So that's what this channel is about. I know that there's going to always be some kind of troll that's going to jump in and try to harass some people, but they will quickly be taken care of here. We're not going to put up with that kind of behavior. We're all trying to get justice for the people that unfortunately have perished. Everybody, see? Friendly. That's cool. Brennan, that's what I like about your channel. Thank you, Brennan. I appreciate those kind words, and that's why I like the people that are in my channel. You guys are all down to earth, and again, even if we don't agree on a certain thing, or you guys don't agree between each other, we never end up in an argument or yelling or swearing or anything crappy like that. I do have Brian, who is ready to come on. Brian C, that is, not the bad one, the good one. The good Brian has arrived. Brian.
Yeah, how's it going, eh?
The good one, eh?
I guess if you wanna classify me as that.
Right off the bat, I want to say before we start talking about any cases or anything, I just want to say that I did watch the Halfwits today.
Oh, dude, is that not the funniest thing?
I saw 3 of them. I don't know if that was all of them, but there was 3 of them. There was one that was like just a regular one, and then there was the semifinals and then the finals.
Yeah, yep.
So there was 3 of them, right?
Yeah, there were.
There was one guy in the second and third one, the semifinals and the finals. Who is that guy? He was sitting beside Joe Flaherty. He kind of had like red hair. I saw him in a few episodes, but I don't know his name.
You know what? I don't know his name either, but I've seen that.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
I do, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Now, my favorite is Martin Short with those teeth and that thinning hair on the top. And he's
Oh,
like, no, high school. I'm trying. I
he
have
looked
a
a bit.
great I have a great
He,
degree of difficulty getting through high school.
I want to go to Harvard, but I don't know exactly where it is. So I'll have trouble finding the football games.
Dude, Martin Short is one of my most favorite comedians.
He looked a bit like Tarantino in that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Now, I don't know if you've seen this movie, and my girls, they're sitting right here. One's asleep, one's up. It's a Martin Short movie. Charles Grodin was in it. It's called Clifford.
Oh yeah, of course, the dog.
No, not the big red dog. No, this is
Which
completely different.
which one is it? What's it about?
Oh, you're thinking Beethoven.
But there's also a big red dog called Clifford, no?
Yes. No, this
So
is
nothing to do with that.
nothing to do with that. This is a completely different movie from 1994. It had Martin Short, who played Clifford, Charles Grodin, who played his uncle, Mary
Was he a kid?
Steenburgen. Yeah, well,
Oh, he plays a kid.
he plays a kid.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now I know which one you're talking about.
Dude, that is one of my most favorite movies of all time. All time. It's so good.
So it's really funny.
If you have not seen it, put that on your list, man. I'm telling you, you will enjoy it.
So there's that one, and there's Captain Ron. I gotta catch up on.
Yes, yes, Captain Ron is amazing too.
Did you see what Brennan said in the chat? He says he loves the A. You guys watch Strange Brew? That movie is awesome. Of course.
Hey, Strange Brew.
I mean, that's yeah, SCTV, totally. Brendan, do you
Yeah,
know SCTV? Have you ever watched it?
you take off your hoser.
You know, and it's amazing. Brendan, do you know that Brian isn't even Canadian? He's a wannabe, but he's pretty close.
I love all things Canadian.
Yeah, he's
That's for
converted
sure.
fast. Yeah.
I do.
There was so many clips on YouTube now that I've been hooked on for SCTV. But again, the Schmengies is like there's one that's almost 1 hour long, and it's kind of like a documentary, but it's like, of course, makes fun of it.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, you've got to watch that. They're just so funny.
Well, now, didn't that was kind of intertwined with Saturday Night Live? Isn't Lauren Michaels Canadian as well?
Hmm.
That's
Yep,
where he got like all his players from, was from
that,
SCTV.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
because
I mean,
Aykroyd,
yeah, Aykroyd was there. Wasn't Harold Ramis in there for a bit too in SNL?
yeah, that's right. Harold Ramis was.
Right.
Uh, wasn't was no Bill Murray wasn't. Who am I thinking of? Um, oh my God, well, Martin Short was on Saturday Night
Yeah, he
Live
was
as
on
well.
it. Yeah.
Um, who's the guy? Oh my God, he was with Billy Crystal a lot. Uh, I know he came from SCTV though.
Ooh,
What's that guy? I can't remember his name.
he was on SNL too.
He was on SNL and he was on SCTV. Um,
A big player on SCTV.
yeah, yeah, he was a big player. What the? I can't
So not
remember
Joe
his.
Flaherty.
No, not Joe Flaherty. I don't think Joe Flaherty ever was on Saturday Night
No, I don't
Live.
think so. No.
Um, oh my God, why can't I remember that guy's name? I am drawing a complete blank. The hell was that
I don't
guy's
know.
name? I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Well, the main guy, Dave Thomas. No.
Mm-mm. No,
Rick
not Dave
Moranis.
Thomas.
No.
No,
Well, what
not
guys
Rick
was it?
Moore.
There's Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, Joe Flaherty, Dave Thomas, um, Martin Short. We said John
Yeah,
Candy.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know who else there was. Ramus. We said Ramus. That who are we missing? Tony Rosato.
No, no, it's another guy. Hold up. I'm looking it up now. Yeah, he's right in the front of my mind. It's not the gay guy, the Terry.
No, it
Shit.
wasn't Fuzza. It wasn't Chevy Chase. He wasn't in NSCTV.
No, he wasn't. Oh, hold up.
Dan Aykroyd. No, Dan Aykroyd wasn't in SCTV.
I'm looking it up. Let's see.
How could we be missing this guy if he was so famous?
Unless I'm thinking of because Tony Rosato was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you sure you're not thinking Kids in the Hall?
no, no, no.
Will Sasso? I
No,
don't know who that is.
damn it. I, oh, uh,
Are
no,
you sure it's SCTV, man?
now I'm not so sure. I know that Robin Duke was on SCTV and that she went on Saturday Night Live as well,
Yeah.
but I cannot. Oh my God, I cannot remember for the life of me who it was.
Yeah, you got Brennan stumped too, but I don't remember anybody else from SCTV. I'm thinking you might be thinking maybe somebody from Second City or something.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Let me see who's SCTV. Did you do a search for SCTV cast?
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking at it. It's John Candy, Eugene Levy, Andrea Martin, Rick Moranis, Catherine O'Hara, Harold Ramis, Martin Short, Dave Thomas, Tony Rosato, Joe Flaherty, Robin Duke. And that's all it lists.
So there wasn't. I guess there wasn't. Maybe it's from something else.
Maybe I'm thinking, man, that's going to kill me. SNL and RCTV alumni. Uh, I know that Belushi was never on SCTV. I'm now okay. So now I'm looking at movies
Here,
that
check it
were,
out. Check it out. Three SCTV cast members have also been members of Saturday Night Live cast: Robin Duke, Tony Rosato, and Martin Short. Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas, John Candy, Catherine O'Hara, and Eugene Levy also appeared as guest hosts over the years. Rosato's first SNL aired April 11, 1981, hosted by Chevy Chase. That's it. There wasn't anybody else.
there isn't anybody else.
No.
I don't know who's sticking out in my mind that was Canadian and that played on SNL. But now
Uh,
I'm looking at movies that starred SNL and SCTV people. It's got like Animal House, Meatballs, 1941, The Blues Brothers, Ghostbusters, Spies Like Us. You remember Spies Like Us?
oh yeah, yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, that was John Landis.
Yeah.
The Great Outdoors. Do you remember that one?
Oh, John Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
Yep. Stripes, Caddyshack.
Caddyshack was awesome. I love Rodney Dangerfield. He's got good
Oh,
sense. He's
dude.
quick.
One of my most favorite movies with him is called Back to School. Did you ever see that one?
Oh yeah, man. That was with was that Robert Downey Jr. in that?
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
He played his best friend.
Oh, you know what else I liked of Rodney's was Ladybugs.
Oh, yeah, that was a good movie too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rodney was cool.
yeah, he was. When he was in the library and he's like, "Hey, Shakespeare for everybody. Hey, lady, I'd like to tame your shrew."
Or when he opened the trunk of the van and all these soccer balls are there. I gotta say, I got a lot of balls.
I loved Rodney Dangerfield, man.
Yeah, he was funny.
I remember, I don't know if we talked about this movie. I can't remember. Oh, hold up 1 second.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if we talked about this movie. If you've seen it, it was from 1999, maybe 98. Um, it's an Adam Sandler movie called Little Nicky,
Oh, that was Adam Sandler. Yeah.
and Rodney Dangerfield was in that.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't see the movie. I know that it was an Adam Sandler flick.
Oh, dude. So Kevin Nealon plays the gatekeeper of hell,
Oh,
and
okay.
Harvey Keitel plays the devil,
Mm.
and the gatekeeper screws something up, so he makes him grow a pair of breasts on his head.
Okay.
And, and Rodney Dangerfield plays the father of the devil, and you know how his little quips and everything,
Yeah.
and they're playing strip poker, and he's like, "Hey, royal flush, off with the brassiere," right? So Kevin Nealon has to take the bra
Bra
off
his
his
head.
head,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, last time I saw a pair of jugs that big, two hillbillies were blowing on them."
Oh God, he was so fast, man.
I love Dangerfield so much.
Yeah, it looks like Brennan knew that one right away. He said "Tithead, LOL, Roger."
That's what he called him, Tithead. Yep.
Uh, Another classic, man. Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, dude, I love him so much. And
Yeah,
I don't know what movie it was, uh, but he said to a woman, "Hey, last time I saw a mouth that big, it had a hook in it."
Too good. Too
Oh,
good.
dude, I loved Edgerfield. I loved him, man. He was classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
Brennan,
no
the one
respect.
where he
No
went,
respect.
yeah, the one where he went back to college, Brennan was back to school.
Back to school, that's right.
And one of the teachers was Sam Kinison.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hmm.
It was.
Oh my gosh, Colleen, I think the crickets got Brian. He'll call back, I'm sure, but I think yeah, the crickets must have attacked Brian. Hopefully it wasn't the cicadas or whatever they're called, cicadas. Those things are like ear piercing. Did you guys ever hear the cicadas? They are so loud, so loud. But yeah, crickets are cool. I love the sound of crickets. The only time I don't like the sound of crickets is when I'm making a joke and yeah, I hear the crickets. Then it kind of like sucks because that means my joke just bombed. He's back. Look,
I'm
look who's
sorry.
back.
I'm
Brian's back.
sorry, man. I keep like clicking on various, I accidentally click something.
Doesn't matter. I blamed it on the crickets, so you were okay. You
You
could
can
have
hear
just said it
them?
was them. Of course.
They're
Colleen
loud.
heard it right away. She's like, "Oh, the crickets are back."
They're loud as shit tonight.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I was saying that at least they're better than the cicadas or whatever you call them. They're so loud.
Oh, dude. We never had them, but
Oh,
um, my town never actually had them. But right below in Maryland, dude, they were so loud, it was almost deafening.
oh, right.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I know. I know. Cicadas are crazy loud.
Yeah, they really are.
But is it just like one, or is there like a bunch that make that loud noise? Like, is it just one that could do that, right?
One is absolutely so loud, but when you get, yeah, I mean, they're up in the trees. I mean, they fly in your mouth. They
But
hit
what
your
is it
face.
to make that noise? What do they do? Rub their legs or rub their wings, or do you know?
I think it's their wings.
They just rub it rubs together.
Hmm. Yep.
Wow. Fuzzy says, yeah, they come around every 17 years. Speaking of years, okay, here's one for you, Brian. But if you
Yeah.
know, don't say it. Just say you know the answer, okay?
Yep. Of
I want to
course.
know from the chat as well. How often does Pennywise come around?
I know 100% right away.
Okay. I kind of figured you knew, but give the chat a chance because
Love
yeah,
it.
you'd answer too fast.
Love it.
So,
That's my favorite Stephen King book.
so chat, the movie It, the clown, Pennywise, how often does he come around? Every how many years? Let's see who's going to answer this one first. Place your bets. Place your bets. I say Brennan's going to get it.
Let's see.
Brennan says, and they leave their shell behind. Cicadas, that is.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I've had, even though they weren't around here, I still get corpses.
Um,
And I know the dates of the book when the first part and the second part took place.
Brennan, you're off by quite a few years.
Yeah, quite a few.
He likes Christine.
I
So do
love
you prefer
Christine.
the books or you prefer books or movies?
The books, 100%. Those books are so scary, man.
But the book isn't like it over 1,000 pages or something.
It's more than that. I think yeah, you said over 1,000. Yeah, it is. It's a very thick and long book.
So how long does it take you to read a whole book like that?
Me, personally, I can't read hard copy books because of my eyesight. So I like read it on like a e-reader kind of, I guess you could say,
Yeah, yeah.
on my phone, and yeah, it takes me about maybe 3 or 4 days. Oh,
Okay.
yep, Fuza got it.
Yeah. Benjamin, you said no, but he or she is right.
That's
Who's
correct.
I'm gonna imagine because it ends in an A that you're female, but correct me if I'm wrong. But good on you anyways, whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Book was the first part took in apart in 1958, and then Pennywise came back in 1985.
Yeah.
Now, in the
Um,
movie,
mm,
the TV movie, it was from, he came back in 1990. So I guess that was, when did the first part take place?
63, then it would be 63.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh,
Yeah, it was like the 60s. Yeah, it's every 27 years.
oh, Colleen has a question for you, Bry.
Yeah.
You see it?
Oh, what's the temperature in PA? Right now it is about well, in Fahrenheit, it's about 54 degrees. That's Fahrenheit.
So that's
So I don't,
14
that's 14. Yeah.
Celsius.
Celsius. Yeah. It's pretty chill. It's pretty cool tonight. It feels really nice because we've been having like 95, 98 degrees, which is my favorite boy band. Just kidding.
I wouldn't be surprised. If I had to guess multiple choices between that, Backstreet Boys, or yeah, actually, no. The number one answer, New Kids on the Block with this guy.
Hey, all right. Here's another. Okay. What is
No
the
New Kids on
connection?
the Block trivia, bro.
What is the connection between New Kids on the Block and Stephen King?
The connection?
Hmm. That's
Um,
trivia for you, R.
oh, who's going to get this? I have no clue. Um, well, New Kids on the Block. What was their? Oh,
It's
they're probably
somebody
from
who,
like around. No, they're from Boston or something. He's from
yeah,
Maine.
yeah, but that's not the connection. Somebody
No,
in New Kids on the Block played a certain person in a Stephen King movie.
who? Wahlberg,
Yep.
but I don't know which.
But he appeared before that in the books, right? I thought the book in Pennywise was around the 1900s. Okay, so yeah, Brennan just said that Pennywise appeared every 27 years, and he did appear in even as far back as the 1600s. But he appeared and he caused a madman to axe down people in a bar in the 1900s. So that is correct.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, Brendan was saying Massachusetts, and then he said Donnie. But what's the connection then?
The
What movie
connection,
was it?
excuse me, Donnie Wahlberg played Duddits in Dreamcatcher.
Oh, did he?
You ever see that movie?
Long time ago.
Yeah, Donnie Wahlberg is Duddits. He's not. He has Down syndrome.
Yeah, oh, that was Donnie.
That was Donnie Wahlberg.
Random trivia, man.
That's random trivia.
Mhm.
Donnie Wahlberg was in New Kids on the Block, so
So
that's
what is your favorite Stephen King movie? Not book, movie.
movie. I would have to say, that's a tough call. That's a tough call because I equate the movies to his books, which I love his books, and I can tell you my number one most favorite book of his, and I think I've told you before.
Hmm.
Movie. I would have to go with Misery.
Yeah, you told me.
Be- yeah, because that stays true to the book. Almost, I would say about maybe 85%. The book really explains how she is completely like batshit uh, psychotic. Like where she will be talking to Paul Sheldon and she will just blank out, just completely leave her body almost. They don't really portray that in the movie, but the movie is very close to the book.
But what about The Shining? Was it that he wrote the book and somebody else made the movie? Kubrick, I think Kubrick made the movie, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But did
And I
Stephen King write the book?
Stephen King wrote the book, and the book is so much better than the movie. I hate that movie. The Kubrick, you know,
I kind of liked it, but then I saw that what was it, Doctor Sleep with
yeah,
Ewan McGregor.
right.
I saw the trailer. It looks so stupid.
No, it's actually really good.
Really?
It's actually, yeah, because it incorporates the end of The Shining and a lot of, I mean, the book. It incorporates the book with the Kubrick movie to kind of please both, book fans and movie fans. But
Yeah.
people who are diehard Stephen King, like myself,
Mm.
love that book and hate that movie because Stanley Kubrick purposely changed everything about the book and made it the complete opposite. The complete opposite. He even has a scene when Scatman Crothers, what was his name in the movie? Uh, the black guy.
Yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about, the bald guy, but I don't remember his
Yeah,
name.
yeah. When he's driving up
Yeah.
to the hotel, you can see a semi trailer that is flipped over on a red bug.
Uh-huh.
And that was in the book, their bug was red. In the movie, it was yellow. And that was Kubrick's way of like saying like an F you to Stephen King, like I can change whatever. That's why Stephen King hates that movie because Kubrick changed everything
Okay. Well,
to be.
you got one who disagrees with you. Check out this screen there, Dixie Normus.
I
Dick.
found the Shining
Oh
book.
God, I got your nickname now that I read it out loud. You got me. God damn it.
Gotta disagree. I found the Shining book to be unbearable. A lot of Stephen King books are very, very long, and they give a lot of internal narratives, especially like Cujo.
Yeah.
He gives the thoughts of Cujo where you don't see that in the movie, but in the book, you know, you get the actual thoughts of Cujo. Like he is hurting people and he doesn't know why. He doesn't want to hurt people, but he can't help himself,
Oh, okay.
because he's going rabid, so he can't control his thoughts and his mind. Again, you get in the book that Cujo is struggling with hurting people,
Yeah.
but he can't help. He has no control over himself.
Okay. Um, Colleen, Rabbit, are you doing any Twitter spaces this weekend? I'm not sure, Colleen. Sometimes I just go on it very briefly if I hear like something just like happening, and then I'll just go on it for a little while. But I find that YouTube is a lot easier to do it through, mainly because also on Twitter Spaces they don't actually save your conversations. So even if I wanted to like do something on Twitter Spaces and then throw it over on YouTube, I have to request to download my file, and that takes like 24 hours. So by that time, it's already old news. So I don't know. I might, but is that where you found me originally on Twitter or what? Um, Mr. or Mrs. Normus says, then again, I find almost all books to be almost unbearably plodding and slow. To be honest with you, I don't even like reading books, but I do like audiobooks, especially when you're driving.
Especially when you're driving.
Yeah, I prefer listening to an audiobook as opposed to like the radio, because radio is so crap nowadays anyways. This music is absolutely sucks.
Yeah, and that's all the same songs. Or I'll be right back, buddy, man.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Okay.
So yeah, I totally prefer audiobooks when driving, just like especially when you're sitting in traffic, it doesn't seem so bad sitting in there for like an hour with all these other people not moving anywhere. Just listen to a story or whatever, it makes the time go by quicker. Wasn't he in The Shining? Fuzza, who are you talking about? Sorry, there was like so many things we are jumping around, so it's hard to keep up with what we're talking about. Stephen King is the best writer ever, but hey, I know this is going to be what, but I also like R.L. Stein. I love R.L. Stein too. We were talking about that the other night. There's like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's Goosebumps, all that stuff. They're all good. Did you guys see the movie Are You Afraid of the Dark a couple of years ago? it was pretty scary. I mean, it was supposed to be like a kids type of like horror movie, but it was pretty scary even for adults. Not me, but I'm just saying, you know. Yeah, yeah, Fuza, you got it right. Uh, oh yeah, Seth. Sorry, I know you keep using your wife's account, so that's what threw me off. Yeah, we met on Twitter Spaces there, but yeah, I haven't been on Twitter Spaces that much, just on and off. Mainly more on here. I'm just trying to make it uh, normal to be here every night at 11 p.m. That way, people will get used to it and expect me to be here at that time. It's just easier that way. RM, welcome. What did I miss? Why did the cops go to Brian Laundrie's home? Okay, so there were a couple calls. One was saying, I think it was a lady that said she saw Brian at the house. Another person was saying that they heard gunshots, and unfortunately, both proved to be false. But there was the video of all the cops arriving at the house. There was about, I would say, about 15 cops. They were there for about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Again, and you just see them going to the door, then entering as one of the parents opened the door, shut the door. They were in there for 5, 10 minutes, and then they all eventually left for the night once again. So again, another day passes and no sign of Brian Laundrie. Yeah, Seth, I remember we actually connected and spoke on there. I remember. Yeah, that's what Brian was saying. That was the black guy in The Shining. Yeah, Goosebumps is amazing, and Are You Afraid of the Dark? I like both of them. Classic, classic. RM says the bad thing about these cases is you have the Karens coming out and basically seeing Brian in every bowl of cereal and behind every corner. I know, I know. That's the problem. It's like they always ask for public support and help out when you can, call whenever you see something. The problem is you're going to get a lot of false calls too, and you can't really charge them because you don't know if it's like a real call or if they're being serious. Or apparently one of the people that called in called from an unknown number. So unfortunately, it's very, very hard to determine where the calls are coming from, which ones are legit, which ones aren't. But you got to take them all serious, I guess. So just like everywhere, like even on YouTube, you can go in a chat room or whatever and chat with people, and 100 people will be cool or whatever, and there's always that one, you know, that just causes crap for whatever reason, for no reason at all. I don't know what it is. It's like a keyboard warrior. What's the point? But again, it's like Brian Laundrie. We can't be inside that kind of a mind, if you want to call it that. We can't think like the way they think. So trolls be trolls, let them be trolls. Just ignore them. That's the best thing to do, and they will eventually go away. Thank God none of you are trolls, though. I've noticed that like right from the beginning. Brennan says, "Did you see that pic at hotel in Canada? It did kind of look like him, but at this, every bald guy looks like him." That was what I was saying. I saw the photo you're talking about, but so many people have that look. So many. And even his like body frame. He's not a big guy or anything. He's just like a normal looking dude with no hair and a scruffy face, shall we say. There's a lot of them. And now the problem is it's even harder because everybody's wearing a mask. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, every bald white guy with a beard is being followed. But yeah, if anybody wants to call in, feel free. I mean, the link is in the top of the chat. Don't be shy, honestly. You don't have to show your face. Just make sure that your mic is unmuted when you call in, and yeah, do so. Let's chat. We promise we won't bite. I won't bite, and Brian won't bite. That's a promise. And we do have Wade who wants to come in. Awesome. Hey Wade, good evening. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, thanks. Good evening.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for calling in again. So, what did you think about? Well, you heard, I guess, the cops today going to his house, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Did you hear anything about it?
No, what happened? I don't know if I heard that.
Yeah, like I said, it was around. I guess it was around 7 p.m. Eastern. Um, Cops just like went to his house. There was about 10 to 15 cops.
Oh,
But apparently it was because two people called in and said one said that they saw Brian at the house, which was obviously false, and the other one said that she heard gunshots, which again was not true. So I mean, of course, they're gonna have to take a action on what they heard. So they went to see, and there was absolutely nothing.
that's interesting. So I did see a headline about that, but I didn't actually read the article because I pretty much the headline kind of told me what had happened.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm really just surprised. And that could be anything. That could be kind of rogue people acting. It could also be the FBI. They may just be tired of the games. They can play games too, right?
yeah. It seems like it's a big game for the last week and a half now, and taxpayers' money just keeps on spending. You know.
It's not uncommon for law enforcement to do things kind of like they do with the credit card, but that's been a common thing, especially with local law enforcement agencies, that they'll find a reason to arrest you if they suspect you of something that's that serious of a crime, and they just want to hold you.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
usually find a reason. I've seen people put in jail for years when they weren't even really after them for that crime that they put them in jail for.
Yeah.
So that's not really uncommon. I'm kind of surprised.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah. Hey, it's Wade. Wade has joined us. Wade, though you're having technical difficulties, though you keep cutting in and out, though. Try try moving to another spot. Might be having issues where you're standing or whatever. Colleen, parents drove to Orlando. Yeah, that was yesterday. They were hooking up with the lawyer, I believe. Yeah, I think he got disconnected. He'll call back. I think he was on the other night when you were on, right, Brian? Wade?
Wade? No, I don't remember that name.
Yeah, I don't think he was talking much, but he was on the other night.
Oh, hey, I found the place of, I went this morning, and I found the place we're gonna get married.
Oh, no way, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
So how is it like close to you or
It is in a place called Towson, Maryland.
well, how far is
And
that?
I would say about 45 minutes.
Not bad.
No, not bad. So basically it is 30 minutes above Baltimore.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a hub of Baltimore, where people fly in to BWI, which is, Baltimore, Washington International.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so it's, basically a little bit north of Baltimore. But it's a really nice Sheraton hotel. Huge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man.
So who picked it? You or her?
We both did.
Oh, it was a mutual thing.
Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not
So
paying for it, so
yeah, I know, I remember. Do you have the exact date? You said October?
October 29th next year.
Wow, 2 days before Halloween, well, just before Hallows Eve.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we wanted, kind of like a
That is,
fall
yeah, that's
Halloween type
perfect.
wedding. Yeah, yeah,
That's really, really good. Congrats once again, man.
yeah. Thanks, man. Hopefully, maybe you can come.
Well, let's get those borders open and then let's go. That
Yeah,
would be a hell of a party, man.
yeah, it would be.
For
Yes, it would
sure.
be. And
Yeah.
we picked out the menu, man. We got lots of good food.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Let me get Wade back in here. Hold on a sec. Hi, Wade. Welcome back.
Thank you. If it's still messing up, let me know. I'll just drop off and listen.
Yeah, now it sounds okay right now.
hey,
No
Wade.
problem.
Hello, hello.
Oh yeah, that's Brian. In case I don't know if you can see the names on the screen. I don't think we have the names on the screen. So that's Brian, but not that Brian. Brian C, the good
Brian.
one. Yeah, the C's for cool. So there we go. Yeah. Hey Brian, Colleen wants to know: are the crickets officiating the wedding?
They are. Yeah, they're loud enough. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Fuzza's saying the crickets are playing background music.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling, and that, now I am actually going to be the DJ of my own wedding.
Are you really?
Yeah.
So what kind of music have you got lined up?
You know, we're really into, Leslie is really into like 90s rock, 2000s rock.
Are you talking like grunge?
No, not really grunge, more like let me think of some bands. Kind of like, do you remember like Hoobastank?
Mm-hmm. But I don't
Linkin
remember
Park.
their music. I know the name. I remember the name.
Yeah, like Linkin Park.
Oh yeah, of course.
Kind of like that. It's not really grunge. It's more, I don't know how to explain it. Almost like
Slightly off
alternative.
grunge.
Yeah, slightly off grunge. It's more like alternative rock.
Like Bush.
I remember Bush. I never liked Bush.
Yeah, they were all right. Miss Melissa, you're going to a wedding at Deerhurst Resort tomorrow, but isn't there a limit as to how many people could be in the resort? Let me know, Miss Melissa. I don't know what it is now, but I know that as of 21st or 22nd, like even at square one now, you need to have proof of vaccination to go to the food court if you want to sit down in the food court at the mall.
What's
I don't know.
Deerhurst?
I don't know if it's the same for you, Miss Melissa, but it should be because it's Ontario. So yeah, as of 2 days ago, I think it was, you need a proof of vaccination. You have to show them that if you want to sit down in the mall to eat at the food court, you have to show them that you've been vaccinated.
So is Deerhurst like a mall or?
No. She's going to a Deerhurst is a resort where it's like a wedding
Oh,
party.
where is it though?
Deerhurst,
Yeah.
Northern Ontario.
Oh, okay. So how far is
Maybe
that from you?
maybe 2 to 3 hours. Would you say, Melissa, from Toronto? More or less.
Now
But
you
yeah,
live
because you remember I told you Kai Kai went to school, right?
right,
So after
right.
school, she was going to go eat because she was starving. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so she went to a mall in, well, close to where she is. And she was starving. And all of a sudden they're like, you can't eat in here unless you have been vaccinated and you have to show your papers.
Like
Well, there
Nazi
goes that.
Germany.
So yeah, so she had to get the food and leave.
So she's not getting it, right?
Well, because she goes to school, they gave her first one last week
Oh
because
wow.
she can't go to school if she didn't get it. So basically, no choice.
Wow.
But it's gonna be like that for everything
Yeah. Yeah.
eventually.
Eventually.
Mhm.
You're not getting it, right?
I still haven't got it.
Yeah, okay. I will never get it. They can take away everything from me. I'm not getting it.
That's three of us. How about that? Like
There you
minds.
go.
I didn't get
Good.
it either way.
No, and I'm not. I think for I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but it's definitely a topic that I'm interested in. But I think
Well,
for
briefly, because you know how YouTube
yeah,
is, so I don't want to go too much into
yeah,
it. I've been in
I won't
this
use
in the past.
I won't use any words,
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
but um, I think there's a certain percentage of population, especially in the United States, because we eat a lot of junk food and overweight and things like that. There's a certain percentage of the population that needs it. Quite honestly, it doesn't mean that I think it's necessarily extremely safe, but I think the alternative is worse. So, but for myself, if I had a family, if I had children and things like that, it might be different. But since I don't really have anyone relying upon me, I'm kind of willing to take that risk myself. I just don't feel good about it.
So Miss Melissa said, yes, proof of vaccination. No idea how many allowed, 150 people. You mean you need proof of vaccination to go to the wedding ceremony thing?
I'm
Is that what you're
sure.
talking about?
I'm sure.
So even for a wedding now, you need proof.
Mm.
So
That's
that's what
not
I'm
what we were
saying.
told today.
So pretty soon it's going to be for everything. That's it.
Well, we were told today that we don't need proof, but the people who that claim that they're vaccinated don't have to wear masks, but the people that aren't do. Where Leslie and I, we're
That's
not
weird.
getting we're not getting it at all, uh, but we're not required to wear masks during the ceremony, and they told us that. So
That is so messed up. So how do you know? I mean, anybody can say they had it. Do they need to show a card or something or what?
papers, yeah, the vaccination card, which is absolute. It's like Nazi Germany, show your papers.
Under certain circumstances, I could see how that might be valid, but under the current circumstances, at least with what's offered in the United States, it's clear to me that the rate of transmission among those who have received it is fairly close to those that have not. So,
Yep.
to be able to allow people that have had it to not wear masks and to not have to social distance, and to me, that's just it doesn't add up in my mind, and it just blows my mind. I don't really want to necessarily look at it as a conspiracy, but I'm thinking, what's the other explanations? Because there's no logic in it. If there was logic, I could say, okay, let's talk about this, but I don't see any logic in that.
There's zero logic to it, especially because where I live, more people are hospitalized that have gotten the vaccination than haven't. There are people that are hospitalized that have already had the vaccination. I read from one of my friends who is a nurse. She said there are more people out, and she posted this on Facebook. There are more people out at her job at a hospital that are out sick with COVID that have had the vaccination. And all the people that haven't are perfectly fine.
Well,
So it makes
I
you
don't
think
know,
what the
but
hell they're doing.
yeah, I know. But I think we're gonna need to get off this topic, or else everybody's gonna start talking about this, and then we're
Yeah,
gonna go
no.
down that. And you
Yeah,
know
I
what
agree.
happened last time, so
Yeah, I agree. We can't really talk about that.
What, a
um,
rabbit afraid of rabbit holes?
no. It's not that I'm afraid, but we myself and Brian actually we were in another well, I had another channel before, and we had these kind of conversations, and well, that channel's not around anymore, so
Yep.
that's why I don't want to steer right back there again.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
So R, you haven't guessed my most favorite Stephen King book ever.
Well, I would imagine it was Misery, no?
I love Misery. Don't get me wrong, but that's not my favorite. My
So is it
favorite
pre
is
or post Misery?
it's pre-Misery.
Oh God, that could be. Is it about Pet Cemetery?
Yep, that's it.
There you go.
That's it. That's my
I was gonna,
favorite book.
and I was gonna mention to you before. This remake was absolute trash.
Trash. Absolute trash.
I was so disappointed because I think Pet Cemetery, Fred Gwynn made the movie.
Yeah, he did. He really
You know,
did.
I
Yep.
that was one of my favorite lines of any movie. It's that damn road. I love that.
Yes.
I love that so much.
And that main accent, he did it.
Oh, it was
Sometimes
perfect. It
that
was,
is better.
yeah, that was awesome. And him and my cousin Vinny, classic.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
What is
with
it,
Joe
you?
Pesci.
You know,
Yeah,
that was
that was.
so good.
Fred Gwynn moved to Tawnytown, Maryland, which is about 20 minutes away from me. And he died. His wife still lives in Westminster, which is about, again, 15 to 20 minutes away from me. He died at the hospital that I worked at.
Oh wow, small world, man.
Yeah, he died at Carroll Hospital.
Jesus.
I just went to his grave. He's buried He's buried in Sandy Mount Cemetery. I just went to his grave. It's unmarked. I went to his grave. It was in March. He's buried. It's a place called Sandy Mount Cemetery in Westminster, Maryland. Yeah, and I got to actually go and take pictures of his grave. And you can look it up on findagrave.com.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, I got to actually see where he's buried.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Brendan says Needful Things. That was a good movie. He says good book.
Was a good movie. Yeah, it's a good book too. Max, who played Leland God?
The old man?
Yeah, Max von Sydow.
Wasn't he in? Oh, jeez, don't tell me. The movie with the kid, and he took him in, and he was like a Nazi or something.
Yep, that's right. That's another Stephen King
movie. What was that movie called?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, but that was another actor. He played the German.
What was it? What was the movie called?
At Pupil.
That's it.
But that was Ian McKellen.
Ah, okay, different guy.
Yeah. But no, you're thinking along the same lines. Max von Sydow played the priest in The Exorcist.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, one of the movies I can't stand. The Exorcist.
It's so hokey now.
Everybody is like so shocked that I like horror movies, yet I can't stand The Exorcist.
Yeah, I don't like that movie anymore. I used to, but not anymore. It's just so 70s hokey.
Yeah. Fuzza says Carrie. Did you watch the remake of Carrie as well?
No. Nope.
Joke. Why do they keep remaking these movies? Like even Psycho. I like Vince Vaughn, but I mean, come on, man. He laughed like butthead throughout the whole movie.
I'm telling you. They just remake these movies. I didn't even like the remake of it. I didn't like it.
You cannot beat the original. Like, I know it was like really cheesy effects and everything because they didn't have the technology that they have now, but it was better because it was more original.
Yeah, I agree.
More lifelike.
Yep. I like Tim Curry as Pennywise, but I don't like those. It's just 90s, campy, hokey. I don't even like that movie. Just because I love the book, you know?
Yeah, you totally prefer the book.
I prefer all Stephen King books. Even, have you ever seen 1408?
That's the one about the apartment?
Yeah, about the hotel room.
I don't remember it. I know what it's about, but I don't remember the details.
Well, the movie was John Cusack, and he's in the haunted hotel room.
Oh, okay.
But the movie just like embellishes a lot, and it makes it kind of hokey, where if you read the book is so spine-tingling, like just crazy, man. It's crazy.
Really?
The book is so much better because it like describes about like how he is like going psycho and he hears something behind the walls like coming towards him. Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Brennan's asking, Tim Curry is amazing. You see him in Criminal Minds?
No, I've never seen that show.
No, Brennan. Brian's favorite Tim Curry is when he was in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I knew you were going to say that.
As Frankenfurter. If you missed it a couple nights ago, Brian was talking about at his wedding. He's going to dress up as Frankenfurter for his wedding. So
I knew you were going to say that.
So if you have any questions about Tim Curry and Frankenfurter, feel free to ask Brian. He has all the info on that. He's got the note on him.
I have never seen that movie ever.
Yeah, okay. You just have the poster in your bedroom, though, right? Okay, we always go there. Why do we always go there?
Yeah, why? Yeah, I don't know.
Colleen, I would just say, in regard to your last comment, I would just say that there's a little bit of misinformation on both sides. You have to be really careful not to push too hard one way or the other.
That's why I didn't put it on there. Again, people are gonna in this kind of conversation. It's like either religion or politics. You're never gonna win.
Yeah,
so it's
sure.
best not even to discuss it because there's always going to be two sides to that.
I agree.
And it's the same thing with this whole thing. There's no winning. You learned that a long time ago.
What's is his name Wade?
Yeah, on the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, what state is he in?
Wait, what state are you in?
All I've said so far is Midwest. Why were you asking?
Oh, no, I was just asking, like, what area of the U.S. are you in?
Oh, politically speaking?
No, just general.
I'm in a red state.
Well, most Midwest states are red. So.
I don't even know what's the difference.
I live in a blue state, but
which is which?
Well, blue is like the libtards, is like the left. Red is right.
Oh, okay.
Red is Donald Trump.
Okay.
I live in Pennsylvania, which is quote unquote blue. But if you come down my street and you have any kind of, JB sign, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's Trump 24 everywhere. Because I live in an area that hates the left. So does that.
Gotcha. All right, Melissa, you have a good night and have fun tomorrow, or try to anyway. Hope to see you, I guess, Sunday night then. If you're busy tomorrow, see you Sunday.
Good night, Melissa.
Good night. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, sayonara.
Gute Nacht.
Yeah, Fuzz, I promise you, we're going to stop with the politics.
Yeah, we have to stay out of politics.
Yeah.
I sent you a link, Rabbit, to an article. I don't know if you've looked at that.
Yeah, that was from yesterday, right?
Was it yesterday?
Yes, somebody was mentioning, I think that, what was her name? Brian? Sabrina knows it? I keep forgetting her first part of it. Something knows it all, or?
It's Cassandra.
Cassandra knows it all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she sent the same story, but apparently it wasn't true.
It's not true. It's on CNBC.
But that's what she
posted on CNBC. Yesterday. It's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not true. It's not true that they could be sequestered by the grand jury.
But I mean, she said it yesterday, and then everybody was debunking it. So, did you just see this now? You mean, or did you hear about it today?
Yeah, I was just looking at it today. I guess I missed it yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I've seen so far, I mean, I haven't heard that it's definitive. There's just information overload. It's who do we believe? What do we believe? And it's just so much information passing.
Don't believe any of it. Don't believe any of it. Believe in your own mind, because all those media companies, they're all trying to brainwash you. Don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
It's all BS.
Master of All says, do you guys believe the cops had something to do with it? No. No, why would they have something to do with it? The only thing I think the cops made a mistake is when they pulled them over during the body cam. And again, looking back, it's easy to say they should have kept them separated, maybe put one of them in a jail cell for a couple of days and things would have been different. But again, it's easy to go back now and say what they should have done. But I don't see them being at fault or being held accountable in any way. No. Do you guys think the cops should be punished in a way?
I don't think it had anything to do with that.
I mean, all they got to go by is what the parents are telling them. What else are they supposed to do? They got no leads, apparently. So, um, did you see the new video out? Which one? The last video I saw was the cops going to the Laundrie's house and then leaving after about 10 minutes and calling it off for today. That was it. But which video are you talking about? We'll go maybe for another 5 minutes because it's already 20 after 12.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, you guys sound like exactly what I was just about talking about. So maybe, yeah, and then we'll come back tomorrow night, 11 p.m. and do it again. Tomorrow during the day, I'm going with Kai Kai. So,
where are you guys going?
Just going to be spending the day together. Not really like, she said she wants to go get her nails done, but I mean, what am I going to do? Say no?
Say no if she wants you to pay for it.
Well, that's just, if I want to get something in return, I'll say hell yes. Thank God you got my sarcasm. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, dude, we get each other like white on rice.
Oh man, I'm telling you, right from the start it was,
It was. Yeah, absolutely. We got each other's sarcasm like right away, man.
But again, I keep thinking back because I don't have access to those videos anymore. You remember the guy I was talking about, right? Not Stephen from England, but the other guy from England, and he was talking like he was very calm guy.
I thought of his name this morning, actually. I remember.
You did? What was it?
Hammer.
That's it. Jesus, why can I remember that? It's so simple.
No, Hammer.
Hammer, that's it. Did you ever see him again or talk to him at all?
Nope. But I haven't seen Stephen for a long time either.
I saw he had a channel, but yeah, I don't think he made a video in like forever.
Yeah, it's been about a year that he went live. He always went live with his grandson.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Brennan, so you guys are on the same time. I'm glad to know that. Brennan, where did you say you're from? What state or city?
Oh yeah, we're on Eastern time.
Yeah. So wait, I guess right now for you it's 11:23?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Master of all, the one where it came out the cops knew he was hitting her and all that crap. The only one where they heard that he was hitting her was that 911 call. I don't think they ever saw him hitting her. It was all by that 911 call that said he was hitting her. The body cam video was saying that she was the one that was hitting him. And that's why they separated them, not the other way around. But that's what I heard. No, they all got the reports. Well, I'm not doubting you, but from what I heard, it was the other way around. I didn't see that video though. No. The cops really should have arrested Gabby, not defending Brian, but based purely on her testimony during the first video incident. She basically made a bold-faced confession to domestic assault. Yeah. Brennan, Indiana. So Indiana's east?
Indiana, if where I am, if you know where I am, I'm in Pennsylvania. Yeah. The next state over is Ohio. The next state over is Indiana.
But is it south from you, west, east?
East. Oh, I'm sorry, west.
So it's still the Eastern time zone?
No, Indiana is central. Excuse me. That's the central time zone.
Oh, so Brennan, then you're actually right now at 11:25 then, right? So you'd be at 11:25. You wouldn't be at 12:25 right now.
Right. Yeah. No, that Indiana is central time zone.
Okay, because I thought he was saying we're all on the same time, but we're not.
And if you're in Indiana,
go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
But if you're in Indiana, you must be familiar with the Delphi murders.
Yeah, he was asking me to do some discussion about that earlier. So I said, yeah, we might in the next couple of days. But yeah, that's been going on for how many years now? That's a while.
I'm trying to remember. Was that 2017? I don't remember.
Maybe even earlier. I don't know. It's been I think at least 5 years.
Was it 2016? Let me check.
Did you look into the Gypsy Rose Blanchard thing?
Yeah, posted that on the second channel for I think it's going to be on Sunday.
Is that not the craziest thing?
Yeah, they're all wacky.
But what her mother did to her?
Yeah, I know, but even the Gypsy, she talks like she's 5 years old.
Yeah, because her mother arrested her at 5 years old.
Yeah, that was a really weird one.
Dude. Have you ever also too? I love these interrogation videos, but have you ever seen like any of like the Jeffrey Dahmer videos?
Oh, bro, I've seen so many of them. The problem with that though is that a lot of them are so long.
Yeah.
But when you get invested in them, man, you want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I have Jeffrey.
I love interrogation videos because you really see the person for who they are.
Like raw, like those interrogators know how to break them down.
Oh yeah, you can tell which ones are really good at it and which ones are just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I also mentioned, in our Skype chat. Oh no, actually, I posted it on the channel. The TCAP people, you know what TCAP is, right? Like Lauren Armstrong, like Dustin McFetridge, and
right.
they interrogate those people for hours, and man, they get a lot of like. I'm really into TCAP stuff. I have been for a long time, because they're just so sick. They're just, but they're just almost pathetic. You know what I mean?
No, I know. For anybody that just joined or is interested, there is a secondary channel. I just made it today or yesterday. It's called Interrogation Space Nation. And it's just basically all interrogation videos of like all the famous cases and maybe not so famous cases, but it's just dedicated to interrogation videos. So if you guys want to check it out, it's on YouTube, Interrogation Nation. And I'm going to be premiering a new video every day at 1 p.m. Eastern. So today's was the first one I put up, and it was Jodi Arias, the whack job that she is.
She is a whack job, dude. Did you see she was doing a handstand?
Yeah, I know. She was messed.
Dude.
She had to make sure her makeup was okay and everything. Yeah, she was wild.
Dude, she's a whack job.
Yeah. And coming up, there will be, like I said, Gypsy Blanchard. You got to check out Rocky Rambo on Sunday. He's a guy Chinese guy who went to Vancouver and killed an elderly couple. And he had no idea why he did it. He said it was based off a video game. He thought it was in a video game. And it was just really crazy because, he murdered them and then he ate I think it was a peach and drank milk and then he left.
My God.
So that one, and I think that one's like 9 hours, but that one's really interesting. So yeah, they're all on that channel. So if you guys want to check it out, feel free and subscribe to it.
What Brendan said though, yeah, we should be way bigger than, although I mean, how many subscribers do you have now to this one? It's like 1.76 something.
No, I think it's only about 1,300 or so.
No, it's more than that.
No, it's 13.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I saw the 3 is the 7.
But I remember the last channel when it was up to like, I think 8,000 or 9,000, and then that's when you really start getting a lot more trolls though too, right? So
yeah, of course.
I don't mind being at this level and having only about 10, 20 people at a time. It's a lot easier to control too.
Yeah, And it's also, you get more quality when you don't have more quantity. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Uh-huh. And then
When,
again, you can see like everybody in the chat, they're all cool and they're all like hanging and talking normal and stuff. So it's all
yeah,
good.
absolutely. Absolutely.
He thinks it was 2016, Wade, the Delphi.
I looked it up. It's February 14th, 2017.
What was it?
I'm sorry, February 13th. What's the 13th? I believe the 13th, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Brennan's on Eastern time. So maybe Indiana is like, I guess, in the middle as the
I,
Central and Eastern time. I don't
I
know.
guess it is. I always thought Indiana was Central Time, but it could be split.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Oh
Could
yeah,
be
I,
Jim
split.
Can't Swim. That's a good channel too.
I have a close relative he's retired now, but he was FBI, and he taught me some of the interrogation techniques that he learned. Is pretty interesting stuff. Gets into some psychology.
Oh yeah, yeah. Jody's Brian's kind of woman.
I hope not
I,
me.
yeah, I was supposed to say. I wonder if she's talking about this Brian.
I think she's talking about the other Brian.
Well, I don't know because now she's saying Shea Hubers is more of Rabbit's kind. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out this Shea Hubers chick. See what kind of compliment this is. I'm sure it's not.
Who the hell is Shea Hooper?
I don't know. I'm quickly Googling her now.
So Brennan, the Delphi murders were on the 13th, and the murders of these two women at Moab, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
They were on Friday the 13th.
Ooh, is there something to that?
Don't know.
My favorite movie series.
And right before each of the murders, somebody was talking about a creepy guy.
Oh, okay. More to it then, huh?
Yeah. You never know.
Shayna Hubers. Let me see this.
Personally, I think there could be a connection between the Moab and Gabby.
Shayna Hubers. She's 30 years old, man. She's over the hill. No, I'm kidding.
For you.
Shut it, Brian.
Have you heard of the BTK killer? Do you remember him?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What about,
Found, tortured, killed.
yeah, Bound, Torture, Kill. That's right. What about the Zodiac? Do you remember the Zodiac?
Uh-huh. They never
Uh,
found him, did they?
no, but they think that Dennis Rader, who was the BTK,
Uh,
was the Zodiac.
okay. Interesting.
What about another one that interests me? And I have to tell this quick story
Uh,
because my mother lived in Hawaii in 1983. Do you remember Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker?
Yeah, he was in the dating game, right? Not the dating game. Dating
no,
game.
the other guy was in the dating game.
That was Rodney Alcala.
Yeah. Yeah. He was on dating game. But Richard Ramirez, yeah, he was also at the Cecil Hotel.
Correct. Yes, exactly. He was
Uh-huh.
at the Cecil Hotel. So my mother tells me a story because Richard Ramirez disappeared. He came from Texas, but nobody knew where he was from 1982 to 1983, maybe early 84. My mother worked in Honolulu at a McDonald's, and she went in to the bathroom to change, to leave for work.
Uh-huh.
And there's a man that came into the bathroom and was looking over the stall at her while she was changing. And she quickly ran out to the bus stop. And it was underneath a bridge. And as the bus pulled up, she saw this same man with these huge eyes looking at her from the barrier behind the bus stop. And when she saw This man, she remembered his eyes and his scraggly hair, and she swears to this day that it was Richard Ramirez.
No, that's
And
freaky, man.
that's freaky. And because there was also, and you can look it up, there was a Honolulu strangler that 3 women were killed about 30 yards from that bus stop. And
Well, then it was for sure.
yeah, and people believe, and you can look, it was on Investigation Discovery Channel, I believe, the ID
Yeah,
channel.
yeah.
Um, People believe the Honolulu strangler was Richard Ramirez. And my mom, to this day, swears that he was staring at her through the other side of the fence. And she got on the bus. The bus pulled up right away, and she got on and left.
That
While
is uber freaky, man.
That's uber freaky. And my mother swears up and down to this day, and she will not let up, that Richard Ramirez was looking right at her.
Can you imagine?
That shit, that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, it would. Give me one quick second. I just got to go to the washroom. Just give me 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes.
Yeah, man. I have to say, Brennan, just what you said about Adam Walsh being killed by Jeffrey Dahmer, I swear, I swear that is absolutely the case. Even though they said it was that other guy they tried to pin it on. Jeffrey Dahmer lived in Florida when Adam Walsh was killed. I swear, Jeffrey Dahmer killed Adam Walsh. There is so much proof.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah, the fist bump was kind of weird.
And Wade, I apologize. I can't see the chat on YouTube, so I don't know. I can't see that, but if you see that comment that Brennan said, there is so much proof that Dahmer killed Adam Walsh.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I was listening to you.
Okay, now I'm on YouTube. Let's see. And he had a blue van, the same blue van that they seen a white guy parked throwing something in the river. Yeah, yeah. Dude, I am of that firm belief that Adam Walsh was killed by Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, I think as far as the officers that stopped Brian and Gabby for the domestic violence incident, I feel like the officer that kind of ran the show on that was a little bit young, inexperienced, and immature, unfortunately. But again, I don't know that really would have changed the course of history.
You know, I mean, uh, a lot of, especially in today's society, people want to paint women as victims, even though they may victimize men. Um, I think there's blame on both sides. I really think there's blame on both sides. But when somebody gets killed, over an incident, I mean, no person's life should be taken. No reasonable human being would have the will to take, excuse me, another person's life. So that's where my hang up lies, is the fact that nobody's life should hang in another person's conscience or will. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not saying that correctly.
Yeah, I know. I know where you're coming from. I don't think that Gabby was ever the person that she was painted to be, as far as make it seem like she was equally abusive or any of that stuff. I'm just personally not buying into it. For example, in the body cam footage, I don't think she ever admits to hitting him in the face. I don't remember if she did, but he claims that she did it with the phone. A phone, unless it has some sort of damage to the phone, a phone wouldn't scratch your face. It might bruise you. I don't know. It's just his story wasn't adding up to me.
Well, you know what? What pisses me off is that people nowadays, with all this crap that's going, I have to choose my words carefully, before the channel would get deleted. With all this crap going on, and the media and the world trying to separate everybody from each other. I mean, who knows the whole story? It's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. And I mean, this was not like this, say, 10 years ago in 2011, where everybody hates each other, everybody, is suspicious of each other. But this is what, they have put in place to be suspicious, to, almost fight with each other constantly. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Just want conflict. Everybody wants conflict.
Maybe we can get political before Rabbit gets back, because I'm with you on that. And I think a lot of it is due to the liberal media. And one personal example I have of what you're saying is that me being from a Midwest state, I lived out in California for a period of time. And one time there was this woman that was trying to start her car, and I could tell it sounded like she probably just needed a jump. And so I walked over to her car and asked her if she needed some assistance. And she seemed scared. She had a big dog in the back of her car. And she said no. And I said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "No, I'm fine." So I started walking back to my car. And then all of a sudden I heard her hollering at me, "Come back, come back."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I went back to her and I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, I just now saw your license plates." And she goes, "Now it all makes sense." She goes, "I couldn't figure out why you're trying to help me. Nobody in California does that." But what she saw was from a Midwest state, that she felt more comfortable with me. And that's just an example of the culture, because.
Well, that makes sense.
People help each other more unless they do less in liberal states. And I think that tells you something about the culture of liberals. And I don't mean this to be offensive to anyone that's a liberal, but I think, look, both sides have problems. Both sides have problems. I grew up in an area with, I'll just say rednecks, okay? And there's problems that come from that too. It's different types of problems. But as far as the division in the country, a lot of that does come from the liberal side. If you look like, the protests that were going on with BLM and things like that prior to the elections, you don't hardly see that talked about in the media anymore now that the election was won. But it was all over the media before.
What you mean now was stolen.
Well, I try to stick to things that I can prove, but
Oh, you can prove it because I was. Okay, hold up. Let me collect my thoughts for 1 second. Because this pisses me off to no end. So I live in Pennsylvania. And again, we can't talk about politics too much. But I can tell you that in my voting district, again, Pennsylvania should be blue. And I'm trying to use very vague words. But in my area, we are all red. And we think DT is the most wonderful, most amazing leader that we have ever seen. So when we went to vote, we were given Sharpies, which do not register in the voting booths, but they would not give us anything else. So all in my area, everybody that went to vote was given a Sharpie, and therefore the vote did not register. So I, myself personally, was a victim of election fraud. And that's how you know if in my little small area that is in the southern portion of Pennsylvania, in Hanover, if you know they did that here, where else did they do that?
it's possible. I'm definitely not ruling it out.
It is 100% accurate because you know DT won. You know 100%. But the opposite from right stole it because they got everybody to, commit election fraud.
Renee says we need to stop putting old people in office. I kind of agree with you, although Ronald Reagan had dementia and while he was in office, and he was a pretty good president. But yeah, we need some younger people in there that can actually last a couple of terms.
You think that Petito that's in there now doesn't have dementia? He absolutely 100% does.
Yeah, I think so too. I saw a joke the other day that said we traded an orange for a lemon.
Love that. Love that, Wade. That's funny. That is funny.
It's the perfect joke because when you say we traded an orange for a lemon, it's like you kind of the people that love to call Donald, DT an orange, like
right.
You're playing right into their hand by using the orange thing. So then it kind of confuses them. Like, you're admitting that DT was an orange, but then you're also throwing the lemon there. They're like, wait a second, is this funny to me or not?
You know what? The funniest thing I've seen recently with regards to JB is his new animatronic in Disney World in the Hall of Presidents. And every president from back from Clinton gave a speech, George W. gave a speech, Obama gave a speech, DT gave a speech. JB does not give a speech. He only recites the oath of office. And he doesn't say anything more. But all these people are dubbing over his corn pop speech.
Yeah.
And his straight razor speech and all about, well, I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my leg. And they dub it over, man. They dog the crap out of him, man. It's a joke. But the whole reason is to get white bread in there, to get, soft left people to get him in, and then to get him out and put the other You know what I'm talking about. Put the other one in.
I hope not, but it's
Well,
could be.
I can say that if that happens, we are 100% effed. Effed. Because she's part of that whole AOC Green New Deal type bullshit. Anyway, I think we should get away from politics because, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're from the Midwest. What is like your favorite kind of dish, like that you like to cook out there?
Hmm.
Like, I know you guys don't have a lot of seafood. Is it more like beef? Is it more like steaks?
Yeah, steak and potatoes.
The steak and potatoes. Okay.
But I've never been into seafood. I don't know why, because that's an interesting thing for me. One topic I like to study is kind of longevity, as far as what cultures or diets people tend to live the longest on. And I think there's pretty clear evidence of the Mediterranean diet,
Sure.
which,
Yep,
and
I
most of the
agree.
diets involve fish. And I always want to try to incorporate, I just study people, cultures, things like that. And I try to incorporate that into my own life so I can have a better life for myself. But I really struggle with eating fish, and I don't know why. I tried to eat some salmon the other day, and if it's cooked perfectly and it's grilled and it's whatever has the right sides and things, it's fine. I can enjoy it, but just in general, I struggle with seafood.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, you're also in the middle of the country where, you can't get fresh fish or seafood, for a couple
That's true.
days. Where me, I'm originally from Maryland, where we're on the Chesapeake Bay. So, we get a lot of fresh, shellfish, shrimp, crabs, things like that. But I also think too, people, you mentioned that, people are overweight. Um, it's really all about proportions. You can, eat what you want,
Sure.
but the things that you have to look for, I mean, not to brag or say anything, but I'm 37 years old and I weigh 122 pounds because I watch what I put into my system.
Wow.
Um, I don't eat lots of sugars. I mean, carbs, uh, you know, uh, lots of breads, stuff like that. That's what makes you gain weight.
For sure.
But I think it's also too, about the proportions. You can eat what you want as long as you don't stuff your face with it. You can eat a slice of pizza, which has cheese and, bread and things like that. But, if you're not eating, three slices of pizza at once, you know, I mean, you could live a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, what it is. You have to give your body time to deal with it, and if you overload it, it doesn't know what to do with it all. It can't process it that quickly, so it ends up storing it in fat cells or doing whatever it can do as a defense mechanism, because it's really toxic for the body.
It is. You're right. You are exactly correct. It's like a computer. If you overload it with information, it's going to store that information as junk, and it's just
Yeah,
going to,
that's exactly what happens.
yeah, I agree. I agree. So, if you eat less and walk more, I mean, truthfully, I mean, that's the obesity epidemic is that people just shove their faces full of food and sit on the couch and watch TV. Just get up and be active for at least 30 minutes a day. You know, that weight will fall right off.
Yeah, we're too sedentary, and we're too gluttonous.
A gluttonous, that is the word. That is 100% the word, Wade. I completely agree. Gluttony. Yes, sir.
So we were in a
Yes.
pandemic before this ever happened in the United States. And that's why
Oh,
if you look at the stats, it's hitting us a lot harder than some third world countries and that don't even have the availability that we have for the, jabs.
I, dude, this pandemic has been going on since the 1980s with the advent of McDonald's and cheap
Yes.
food. You know,
Yes.
where you can buy a head of lettuce now for less than $3, but you can buy two double cheeseburgers
Right.
for $2.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. That's where it goes. And people eat cheap. You know, they want to spend less money, but they eat shit.
I'd have to go
Sorry.
back and look, but we banned chicken from China because the quality for years around the time period that was all going into fast food places.
Yep.
And then just a few years ago, we lifted that ban, and I'm thinking, why? Like a lot of that stuff's coming from China. People don't even realize when you're going and eating this fast food.
No, fast food is filled. Now, see, my thing is that sodium, sodium is the killer. It truly is the killer. And if you look at the amount of sodium that is in even, say, you like to eat uh, one of those yakisoba, like those noodle dishes or whatever. If you look at the sodium ingredients in that, I mean, people will sit there and eat that for lunch, and it's got 1,500 milligrams per serving.
Mm.
And people eat those whole things, and there's two servings in that, which gives you your sodium content.
Mm.
That's why people have high blood pressure. That's why people have heart problems. That's why people have problems losing weight. I mean, it's really about, well, sugar is another thing, because people will think nothing to drink, like, say, a bottle of root beer. But if you look at the added sugars now, it's over the daily value. That's why people are obese, because they drink sugar. And sodium and I mean sodium again causes your body to retain water, and that's why people are overweight. It's just if people just look at what they ingest into their body, it's not about fats, it's not about carbs or whatever. It's truly about sodium, sugar. It's just crazy.
I call it
It's
the three
crazy.
white devils, and it's salt, sugar, and flour. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yes, sir.
darkness, I agree with you that the Himalayan salt is better than the the white salt, but it should all be limited. If you really want sodium, you should be getting it from like celery or something like that.
Yeah. But you don't need sodium. Your body does not. Well, all right. Okay. Let me back up. Your body does need some sort of sodium, but not the overload. Because again, if you eat too much sodium, what happens? You can feel your veins pulsing, all that restless leg syndrome. That's from sodium. That's your body reacting to not enough water, because sodium dries your. I mean, humans run on water. What do they recommend that you drink? Water. How much water a day? Because humans run on water. And what does sodium do? It dries up water.
That's a good point. That Himalayan sea salt is other minerals than just sodium. But I think that what the real truth is that we need more minerals. We don't get enough minerals, or just enough nutrients in general, vitamins and minerals. And
Vitamins and minerals. Yes, sir.
that's where a lot of the people who are gluttonous are not getting any of those, and that's what
Yep.
the body's signaling them for. And
Yep.
so you're always hungry because you're getting those signals, but they're not signals that it's your common sense would tell you that you're not still hungry when you just ate, like you
Exactly.
said, a large fry and 2 double cheeseburgers or something. And then you're still wanting to. I had a friend one time that he was really good friend, and he was way overweight. And I had never known him any different from that. And I just thought he'd never be any different from that. And I kind of thought it was. So we went to college together, and I kind of thought it was genetics or something. I never talked to him about it. I never saw him eat though, but I didn't see him ever eating around me. And then years later, I don't know, a few years later, 3 or 4 years later, after college, we got back together and decided to have lunch together, and we went to a buffet, and he had about 3 or 4 plates full of food.
Yeah.
Then he had a plate full of dessert, and then on the way out, he had a handful of cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're supposed to do that, but he took them out the exit with a handful of cookies. And then when we got in the car, he said, "Hey, do you mind stopping by a Wendy's? I'd like to get a Frosty."
Exactly.
I hadn't said anything to this point. When we brought up the Frosty, I said, "You know what? We've been friends for a long time." And I said, "I've never said anything." And I said, "But I have to say something." I said, "It's no wonder you're overweight, man." I said, "You cannot eat like that. That's not healthy."
Yep.
He didn't talk to me for like a year after that.
Of course not. Because people they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. They'd rather live in their own misery and feed their. I mean, as sorry to say it is, they'd rather feed their depression.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Okay, we're gonna have to end the stream here. I gotta do a couple of things, but we'll be back tomorrow, same time. If you guys can join me, that'd be cool. 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. Eastern.
Have a good night.
And yeah, chat as well. If you guys want to jump on in tomorrow, again, either listen in or call in. You're welcome to do either. Brian, I'll message you in the morning.
I'll be here.
All right. And if do you guys still have anything to say, or because I just got back and you guys were talking, I didn't want to stop you mid-sentence.
We might have sabotaged your show, but other than that, no.
You can sabotage all you want. You want me to put you on hold for another hour? You guys can keep on rapping if you want.
But you know what? That Brennan person in the chat is absolutely 100% correct. He just said, people eat to hide their emotions, and that's true. That's true.
Here, let me put that on there. Oh, you guys are talking about food again? Brian, you love food, eh?
I love food, but I can't eat a lot of it.
Yeah, you like to cook, man. That's the thing.
I love it, but I love cooking for others to make them happy. But, again, I try to not preach, but suggest eating a lot less than what people do.
We got on the topic because I said that we were in a pandemic in the United States before the actual pandemic ever came along, a pandemic of people just being unhealthy. And that's kind of what we were talking about.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So your favorite darkness, since like you're my biggest fan, do you look anything like Shayna Hubers? Just curious. Bonus points if you do. Maybe only you'll get that, but anyway. It's just a dark joke. Over Brian and Wade's head, I'm sure, because they're not even saying a word.
Oh, I was kind of zoned out. I was getting pretty tired. Sorry.
I don't even know who Shayna Huber is.
Did you check her out on Google?
No.
Remember we were talking about serial killers and stuff, and she was like, Jodi Arias is your type, and Shayna Hubers is mine.
You guys are weird.
How do you spell that?
Why, man? Why you hitting on my girl? Shayna, SHAYNA, and then space HUBERS. Not like I already checked or something. I'm just saying I think that's how you spell it.
Yeah, that's right. It popped up immediately. Oh, okay. All right.
Well, what's that supposed to mean, Brian? You're hitting on my girl, aren't you?
She cute.
I got to see what.
Hold up. R. I have to touch on something. I think it was. Oh what's his name? I think it was Brennan again who said, oh shit, I almost said your name again. R.
Just call me Rabbit. R, yeah, R, Rabbit.
I can. I know your real name, so
Okay,
I
R is
want to
Rabbit.
say,
Anyway, go ahead.
okay. Anyway, Brennan said, "Do you believe that Jeffrey Dahmer killed Adam Walsh in Florida?"
There's a highly likely chance, yes.
Okay. He said that, and I was like, dude, he absolutely did. He absolutely, because he was in Florida at that time. And I fully believe that Jeffrey Dahmer killed Adam Walsh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't doubt it either.
You got to look at that. Got to look into it. Because he was there at the time that Adam Walsh died.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Well,
Because, I mean, all the signs point to that, too, yes.
yeah, and the whole thing with America's Most Wanted and John Walsh's father, and, you know, I think that all really stemmed from Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm telling you, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Brennan, he looked again. LOL. No, I was looking to show Brian that Shayna girl. Nothing to do with me, of course not. And if I did look again, it was just for informational purposes only for the next video. Yeah, that's it.
Well,
Brian knows how serious I am. Didn't have to
we
follow
know.
with that laugh. That totally ruined it.
We know. You got that Kai.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get in trouble if she hears this replay. All right. So, yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. All right.
Rabbit.
Their favorite darkness ratted me out. Thanks.
Rabbit, did I see that you do sports betting?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you know?
I saw it on your channel.
Oh, the older videos I had. Yeah. I just like picks and stuff. Yes.
Okay.
You play?
No, I don't anymore. I did for a while years ago.
What were you in? Football or what?
I did college football, which I did okay at. I never did good at pro football, but I'm very, very good at baseball. So when baseball season comes around, we'll talk.
Well, yeah, it's almost over now. One more week to go. But baseball playoffs is money to be made too. But for football and basketball, yeah, I prefer college. It's a lot easier than the professionals.
Are you guys saying football is in soccer or is in like professional, like NFL?
American football, so like college football and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's so many games of like college on Saturdays. It's crazy.
There's a ton.
Yeah, so there's always some lines that are whacked for sure.
Well, that was just it. Yeah, back whenever I used to do it, I don't know what it's like anymore. Is you could find different spreads and just play that.
Well, that's definitely it. That's what I'm saying. There's like so many games. There's always like one or two lines that are just not right, you know. So, but yeah, the pros they got that covered like to a T. It's so hard to win in NFL, and even the NBA is really, really difficult. I find the hardest sport to bet on is actually hockey.
Never tried hockey. I don't know anything about hockey.
Yeah, so Kai's awake. Okay, I gotta go.
See ya. Bye.
All right, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Shut it, Brian. I'm not whipped. All right.
Yeah, not.
Yeah, not. Definitely not. Would you shut? Okay, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Peace and chicken grease.
Yeah. Later. All right, later, chat. See you guys all tomorrow. Bye.